ॐ ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om. May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, all the sensory and motor organs become strong and efficient. All is verily the Brahman, the absolute bliss, absolute existence, absolute knowledge. Let me never deny this truth of all-pervading Brahman. May the truth neither reject me either. May all the virtues needed for the experience of this truth be with me. Om, peace, peace, peace. Feel the presence of our true infinite nature, the Brahman in us, and let us feel we all are merged in that oneness. That is the source of true peace, the source of true fulfillment. And with this in mind, let us turn towards today's this topic of discussion. This Shantideva, Bodhicharyavatara, a very celebrated text of Mahayana Buddhism and other spiritual aspirants as well, because of its tremendous our life, our body and mind, guiding them to the right path, to keep it on the right track. So that is why we study it every year. As you know, we study some Buddhas, Tathagatas, and great teachers of mankind. That he is now, he says, I am now trying to deliberate on this great idea. So it is. And he says, I am not going to tell you anything new. Everything has been already told. Nor do I have any special skills in analysis or description, not much learning or oratorial skills. But therefore others may not be interested in studying this. But for my own understanding, and as I have taken this up for this purpose. So therefore, we saw last time in our last class that we should persevere with it. The idea of perseverance was told. This is all about generating and preserving what he calls Bodhicitta, Means, in short, the attitude of a spiritual aspirant. They, uh, we want Bodha means the ultimate wisdom, but for that our mind should get tuned to it. In that direction we should be sincerely uh, desiring to move. That is the Bodhicitta. That, like if somebody has a desire that I will do this, the desire occupies the whole mind of this person, and then the mind of that person now is bent on achieving it. So similarly, bodhicitta is the mind that is bent on getting illumined. So this whole address is for the one whose mind is wanting very badly to go beyond this suffering through getting this knowledge, bodhi. All the sufferings are due to ignorance. This is what we have been seeing, that the tendency to blame others for our suffering comes very naturally, and thus we perpetuate the suffering because the cause is misplaced. My ignorance is the cause of suffering, not somebody else. It is not law, nor my boss, nor my neighbor. Nobody is cause of my suffering. My ignorance is the cause of suffering. So, in our last class we started studying the 5th chapter, that it is that I need to get liberated from this mind which has become mad like a mad elephant, and it is hurting me so much, and so I must get out of it, out of the clutches of this mad mind. Mad mind, therefore it can destroy, our true bliss, or our whatever is really good for us can easily be destroyed by nobody else but by the mad mind. So this chapter continues further to say what should be done. This chapter is actually, the title is Samprajanya Rakshanam, means whatever the bodhicitta, the aspiration, the desire to experience the truth, whatever has awakened needs to be protected by doing the right things. Otherwise, this desire gets lost. So that happens to us, that sometimes it gets awakened that yes, I should practice the proper spiritual disciplines. I should do whatever is needed to make it actually manifest in my life. But after some time, one forgets about it altogether. So this desire was there, gets destroyed, and so we should keep up doing that by which this holy aspiration in us will not get destroyed, will rather get further nurtured. And he tells here about it, that in the 105th verse in this chapter, that we should again and again read these books, the scriptures, again and again, that it is not a story book. that like this Vidya sitting there, not Vidya, what is your name? Adya. Huh? Adya sitting there, she reads a story book and says, oh, I have read it already. The scriptures are not like that. They should be read again and again and again. So, शिक्षा समुच्चयो अवश्यम द्रष्टव्यम पुनः पुनः विस्तरेण सदाचारो यस्मात् तत्र प्रदर्शितः. And similarly, the other book, he refers specially to another book, Sutra Samuchchaya, by another great teacher of Buddhism, Nagarjuna. Both belong to kind of Buddhism called Mahayana Buddhism. So, Nagarjuna's works are very famous, and he says that also you should read this book by Nagarjuna again and again, and then says that put that to practice. Put that to practice. Only reading it will not help you. Like the doctor, after examining you, gives you a prescription. Take these medicines. Now, if you keep on reading the prescription 100 times again and again, will that cure the person? That will not help. You have to try to put those teachings into practice. Take the medicine. That is how it happens. I told you the story that in our dispensary, sometimes people would complain to the doctor that I still am not feeling better, nothing happened. And the doctor would pointedly ask this question, oh, have you been taking the medicine I gave you? And then they would give some excuses. People in the village, so were not very serious about it. That one day they took, then the second day something happened, third day something happened, and then forgot on another day. So didn't take. The bottom line is I didn't take it. And the doctor would say, our medicines are very good, but there is a problem with them, that they work only if you take them. So only if you just keep them, it won't work. So one has to take them. So these teachings become effective in life by trying to put them in practice. So repeated reading is for inspiration. Yes, and for making us, if we are forgetting, that repeated reading will make it again remembered by us and put that into practice. So that is what Swami Vivekananda has mentioned in making the rules for Ramakrishna mission, that the regular study of the scriptures is to be kept up, and says that without the regular study, the religious orders start degenerating. Study, the degeneration ensues in the order, because our mind soon gets engrossed in the mundane issues. That, well, like we have to get this construction done, and so does it mean that therefore I should stop the scriptural studies? Then all those concerns will take over the life and the purpose will be lost. One will therefore have no benefit of doing all other things. So it is important that while you are engaged in different works, the scriptural studies must be kept up so that you will never forget the goal of your life. Then this next chapter is very important psychologically. And it is called Shanti Paramita. All these chapters henceforth are named Paramita. Means the highest level of those virtues, that is Paramita. Shanti means forgiveness. Forgiveness for anybody whom you think that might have caused some difficulties to me, and one should harbor, nurture the attitude of forgiveness. Why should I forgive? For your own good, By getting angry, you do not do much harm to other person, but to yourself. Getting angry makes you lose a lot, and therefore looking at your own good, you should learn to forgive. Should never harbor the hatred and jealousy, because they are very detrimental to our spiritual practice. This is explained in the very first verse of this chapter, that what happens if I do not practice this forgiveness, that I have to forgive. If I start cursing somebody, what happens? That Sarvam danam sugata pujanam kritam kalpasah kreya pratigha pratihantitat. So, for 1,000 years I might be performing many good actions, like giving the alms, donations, or other acts of piety. All that gets destroyed in a moment if I harbor anger and hatred towards others. See how forceful it is. All the virtuous deeds and merit, such as giving and making offerings, that we have accumulated over thousands of eons, can be destroyed by a moment of anger. This you can experience, that how a moment of anger, just all our good deeds or good intentions, in a moment we lose all that. Suddenly that everything is divine, we may think about that, but and that fellow is bad. That fellow must be destroyed. That fellow is the curse to the world. All such thoughts start coming. So what happened to the knowledge that I was building up? That is all gone. I might have done meditation for a long time on this, but anger. Maybe I read some news in newspaper, or somebody, simple things, that it is what I was doing got obstructed by somebody else. Then the anger wails up, that it is I was meditating and a truck passed by. That happens here very often, that now people get perturbed. I was meditating, why this truck went by there? and I feel so disturbed. And those noisy bikes, they ride like this. Why should they do it? Those people, death. I am not against, that I am in general. I am against death penalty, but such people deserve that. You see, that so my mind becomes so full of anger that then I lose the sense of proportions. I lose that the world is like that. It is. Therefore, one should see this bad effects of getting upset and angry. That it is. So, and one should see that everything gets destroyed for me. Forget spiritual. Even when you are getting angry a lot, that if I harbor painful thoughts of anger, I shall not experience mental peace, I shall find no joy or happiness, and I shall be unsettled and unable to sleep. If you are angry, then on the person you get angry, you start thinking about bad of that person, this evil for that person. That person may die at some years ago, 2 years ago. Let that fellow die of COVID. Or you start thinking in those terms. It is, if you are, say, against capitalists, and then what happens, Charlie? Let all those be doomed. If the anger comes, then the mind goes on meditating on them. They become the objects of meditation. Instead of meditating on God, we start meditating on them. So, and no sleep then. It is no peace of mind, no sleep. So, thus it hurts us a lot. So, one should therefore, for one's own good, practice forgiveness. And then he gives the reasons for that. That they see the anger, nobody says or thinks that let me become angry. Anger comes up. What you can do is to control it, thinking that it is the reaction. It is the reaction of my expecting certain things from the world. When my expectations are dashed, then its automatic reaction is getting angry. And nobody ever decides that let me get angry. And that is a different kind of anger. It is anger to show, it is a means to get somebody understand and know. Like sometimes the parents show anger to the children so that the erring or lazy children get some strong message, that's all. It is not really an anger as such. So the anger comes up naturally. So therefore one must understand that it is nobody's doing. It is just by having the body, it comes identified with the body and having desires associated with that, the anger comes automatically. So nobody really should be angry upon. It is so that is, let me tell this special feature of human being, So, anger is instinctive. What does it mean? It is animalish, not human. Human beings are supposed to think and act accordingly. What, Richard?
I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure.
You are not sure that
No,
human beings should act without thinking.
I'm not sure.
You are not sure.
Yeah.
Are you sure of something? No, I am not sure of anything.
No, I'm sure of something. I believe in gravity, actually.
You believe in gravity. You believe in it.
I believe in gravity.
Yeah. So you are sure of gravity. It is. See, human beings, this is a characteristic which separates humans from other animals. You don't believe that you are a human being?
Animals are not as brutal as people are.
Yes, but
come on,
that is true.
Animals are nice by comparison.
Yeah, that is. But we are not talking about that.
Oh.
The animal are nice instinctively. Sometimes human beings are not as nice. But the instinctive behavior and thought out behavior, that is what separates humans from animals. And thought out behavior could be at some times much worse than the animal behavior. Had animals had that much intelligence like human beings, they would have probably been more brutal. Therefore, anger is an instinctive response, and therefore it should be avoided, being an instinctive response. So, it is the 24, 25, yeah. People do not think I'll get angry, they just get angry. And anger does not think I will arise, it just arises. All the shortcomings there are and all the various non-virtues arise through the force of other conditions. They do not govern themselves. And that is the bottom line, that they do not govern themselves. They rise automatically. Like the sneezing comes automatically, isn't it, Charlie? Yeah. That nobody thinks that I will sneeze. It just bursts out, and so people say bless you. But if I want blessings and I decide let me sneeze, the sneeze won't come also, So because it is not something deliberately we try to do, sneezing it automatically comes, So this is a physical instinctive response and reactions. So therefore, why blame somebody for that? And there should not be any object for that. Nobody is cause of your anger or hatred. Nobody should be the object of your hatred. Because it is an automatic reaction of carrying the body. And just as, why did you sneeze? Well, I don't know why did I sneeze. It just came off. Therefore, it is important to say that there is no really an object that deserves the anger. Sometimes people justify the anger, calling it righteous anger. Like somebody insulted the deity that I worship. And I feel that this man insulted the object of my worship. That it is, we see that somebody desecrated some holy place, holy for some people, and so it is not holy for somebody else. So they went and desecrated that, and we get angry. And this is, it is written here that that look at those holy shrines. Do they get angry about it? Those images, they don't get angry about it. Why should you get angry? You should not get angry about it. That is your weakness, that you get upset and angry. So one should not do that. So it is that how this anger is, suppose there is a separating boil on the body, and then you don't want, it is painful to touch it, so you don't touch it, you don't let anybody else touch it, and so the pain keeps on growing there. So similarly, we suffer because of this, that we have certain topics of getting angry about, and we get hurt by that, but we do not want anybody to touch that. So that is how we suffer, just because of that boil, and we suffer. That similarly the anger about such things also makes us suffer. And this, then there is this human again problem, the trait in us, that dukkham nechami dukkhasya hetum ichhami balishah swaparad gate dukkhe kasmad anyatra kupyate. This is the we do not have the wish to suffer. Nobody wants suffering. But the trouble is that we do exactly those things because of which we will suffer. It is, and there comes the cause and effect idea into action. If I don't want suffering, I should avoid those things that make me suffer. But I go to do that deliberately, although I don't want to have the result of it. I want to go to do it, then the result has to follow. That is one of our Swami says, that it is that buy one get other free, that it is you go to buy happiness, the misery, suffering comes for free. It is something that goes along with it. If you want happiness, but you are buying something, you are getting something because of which you are going to suffer, then the suffering has to come. You cannot avoid it, because you deliberately bought the cause of suffering. So this is something that one must think and avoid, that we hear another Sanskrit saying about it, that it is punyasya phalam nechanti, punyasya phalam icchanti, punyam nechanti manavaha. People like the result of the virtuous deeds, but don't like to perform the virtuous deeds. And they do not want the effect of the sinful deeds. Papasya phalam nechanti papam kurvanti yatnatah. They don't desire the results of sinful actions, but deliberately go to perform such actions. So, what is meant here is therefore deliberately develop this idea of forgiveness. Nobody in this world has been harming me. So why should I get angry upon anybody? I am the cause of my own these actions, and so I am suffering because of that. A nice incident took place at our library in Nagpur. One motorbike was coming in and another bicycle was going out. So they collided with each other. Nothing much happened as such. A bicycle got a little bent. The man on the bicycle got slightly hurt, nothing much. So, and the man on the bike apologized to this man on this bicycle, said, okay, yeah. And then we took that man to a room and gave him some water, some ointment, and then were saying that, oh, this motorbike fellow should have been more cautious, and we're blaming him for this. But this man who was a little hurt said, nothing like that, I was in this morning newspaper, I was reading my, this future cast for today. And there it was written actually that there will be a minor accident today. So that is how it happened, nothing, that man is not responsible. Now see, what this man is not holding any grudge on the other person. So, otherwise, I will not rest till this fellow brought to justice. It is this person did such a bad thing, hit my bicycle, shameless, and all that, all the bad things would be heaped on that fellow, thus disturbing the peace and sleep of oneself. So, it is that person might not have hurt you so much as you will be hurting yourself by that thought. So, this is how one should say that it is just as with the guardians of hell, the forest razor sharp leaves and so forth, my sufferings in this life result from my actions. So with whom should I be angry? That we sing that Vivekananda song. Actually it is on Buddha, that no one but me to blame. Do you know that song, Charlie?
Yeah.
No one but me to blame. I was my own, past that is now manifesting itself. That therein the plan was made. Good, bad. So no one to be blamed, It is thus, the point is, we should express a total forgiveness about it. And then there is a master stroke here, that we all have to practice this virtue of forgiveness. Like if we have to practice, say, building up our body, then we we have to go to gym or play, do physical exercises. Do you do that, Divya? Not Divya, what is her name again? Adya. I keep on forgetting her name, Adya. Sorry about that. So do you sometimes go to gym or play? Yeah. What does that running and exercising does to you?
It helps me in my health.
Good. So it is very helpful for you to do that. And in the sports, there are, you and then your opponent will be there. Somebody with whom you are playing. You want to defeat that fellow, win. For your exercise, is that other person, your opponent, is also helping you, isn't it? Without that opponent, how can you play? So that opponent is actually helping you to increase your strength. So to practice forgiveness, now whom to practice it on? There must be some people, whom you think have done bad to you. Now they become actually your friends in the sense that they help you to practice forgiveness. Isn't that a great idea? Shantideva says that Maya cha anena chopattam tasmadetat kshamafalam etasmai prathamam deyam etat purvam kshamayatah. That it is because they were there who became, in a way, in my false perception, they became the cause for my suffering. My boss, that fellow did not sanction my leave. Terrible fellow. Now it is important that we see that boss has helped you to practice the forbearance by doing this. Otherwise, what would have been this the scope for practicing forbearance? There should be objects, in the world on which you can test your forbearance. If there is no such object, then how will you? I told one nice incident long back. It's a very, very illustrative and educative incident, friends. And that is when we were having a discourse by a learned Swami in a temple. And one part of the temple, the discourse was going on. Many of us had assembled. Now it is a temple, and the Hindu temples are rarely calm. People enter, and first thing the children will be running about, and then there will be the bells, thang, 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 and the talking, it will go on. So, myself as well as some other listeners, they looked up at them angrily. This Swami said, don't do that, don't. See, they are teaching us a very important lesson. That just as they are doing whatever they want to do without bothering what we are doing, we should also continue with what we are doing without bothering about what they are doing. It is a temple, the place is like that. The discourse has been arranged in a common space where there would be people coming to just salute, to ring the bells, to sing praises. The children coming with them, they will run about and shout. All that is the part of the bargain. So you should never become upset about that. In fact, learn from it that just as those people, did they care for what we are doing? They did not care for that. So we should learn from that, that we should carry on our business of studying this text or having this discourse heard without getting bothered by what they are doing. Do you agree with this, Teresa, or no?
I have my disagreement.
You have your disagreement. Okay, I saw that on your face that you have disagreement, and therefore I ask that okay, but still do whatever you want to do. Don't bother about my disagreement. Okay, you have the chance to voice your disagreement when we open up for questions.
With anger.
So,
With anger.
with anger, okay, yeah, that is all right, you know. It is, it doesn't bother others. Whom does it bother? The anger?
Yourself.
If you get angry, who get bothered by that?
No,
Me.
I know the answer you are saying.
Bothered by it.
You get bothered by her anger.
Yeah.
Oh, no. She gets bothered more than you. Anyway, so that is the. So, although those who harm me are provoked into doing so by my own karma, it is they who will take rebirth in hell as a result. So, is it not that I who harm them? Think of it, you know, that some of my past karma made that became the cause for their getting angry with me. And I should have compassion to them, because then I will be the cause of their getting into hell due to getting angry.
Oh my goodness.
So therefore, it is I should see that and pray for them, that I became the cause for them to go to hell. So it is. This is a great thought, you know, that it is the actions in the past, the result is brought by somebody. I was very much what I illumined by that analogy, that it is the mailman who did bad to you, or you think did bad to you. Man was just a mailman that brought you the whatever you deserve to get, and the mailman had your own karma. You were using the electricity and water and all that, so the mailman brought you the bill. So is the mailman to be accused for that? It is your actions and that brought the bill to you. So we need not curse anybody. My previous actions were responsible for that, my karma. I told you another nice incident. The man was so peaceful that it is, he had this eye surgery for something. And one of our Swamis also was in the same hospital for the eye surgery, and I had gone there to attend to that Swami. So, and that man just in conversation said that, oh, he is going to have this surgery a second time. First time, actually third time, he said. First time the doctor did not diagnose properly, and so did some other procedure, That did not solve the problem. Then second time he diagnosed right and did surgery, but the surgery was not done bad. And so this is the third time actually this I am having this surgery. And then I said, well, why this, the doctor should, compensate you for this again and again, this surgery you're doing. He laughed and said that, you see, this doctor, I have no enmity with him. He is doing surgeries for many years, and somehow every surgery he does is coming out good except mine. So I think what must have happened is that I might have taken a loan from this doctor in my previous birth and didn't repay. So I have to now repay that loan. Then I consoled him, or it may be otherwise, that he is taking your money this time, he will be paying you in your next birth. Who knows? That also is possible. But the point is that he was thus having the peace of mind. He was not angry on anybody, just carrying on there with his suffering, that, well, they are my suffering, that's all. So it is, thus one should be patient and forgiving. This is this chapter of Shanti Paramita, that practice the great virtue of forgiveness and forbearance to be practiced. Without that, the knowledge of the truth will not dawn upon us. So that is why these are all the necessary practices. One should be practical in life. To get wisdom, we should do what will make the wisdom shine in our life. So this practice is to be carried on. Then there is the next chapter is called Virya Paramita, means developing the strength to continue with the practice without getting lazy. It is very important to keep it up with enthusiasm. And we always experience in spiritual life, in every life, that something that we know we need to do, but we do not feel enthusiastic about it. Initially, for a day or so, we may feel very enthusiastic. They are called, in Sanskrit, a nice word is there, Arambashuraha, that they are very enthusiastic about taking up an endeavor, very energetic, get attracted, oh, let me do it, oh, I will do it, yeah. And then the enthusiasm dies away after a little bit of, time, and then, okay, well, let me see, today I am very tired, and then there are some other problems there, then I am planning for my travels, or so many such, thoughts, they stop our energies flowing in the right way. Loss of enthusiasm, loss of energy, and this endeavor requires tremendous constant energy to come up. This is called therefore Virya Paramita. It is the task of climbing Everest. What, Adya? Have you heard of Everest?
Yeah.
What is it?
The highest mountain.
Exactly, very intelligent girl. And yeah, so it is the highest mountain. So climbing such a highest mountain, it will require lot of energy, lot of mental enthusiasm. If you, after walking half a mile, if you feel, now I am tired, I want to go back, then climbing Everest will never happen for you. You have to start enthusiastically and continue with added enthusiasm. Then only it is possible. We shall study that chapter more in our next class. So, about today's discussion or on the previous discussions, if you have any questions, feel free to ask now. Oh, Charlie has a question. Oh, Teresa, give to Teresa.
Okay, so I completely agree with the fact that we need forgiveness. I mean, because when we don't forgive, it's really poison to our hearts. So absolutely, that has to be part of our lives. The part that I have my disagreement is when you said we should not get angry. It is an instinct. And the reason why we get angry is because, again, patterns from the past and the instinct. So what I think is not that I should not get angry, is that I have to learn after I get angry, because it's instinctive to say, okay, hold on, let me back off, let me think about it, let me leave the place, because I'm very upset, I want to stay away from that person or whatever. I mean, I think that what is important to work on is what can I do after I get upset, because it's instinctively, I cannot.
Yes.
So that is the part that I have mind.
Yes, good question.
Yeah.
Very good question. I know she is a very learned lady, very thoughtful and learned person. So the question is very good, that if it is rising automatically, we cannot do anything. And he has mentioned in this book, we discussed that it rises automatically, it is instinctive. But that doesn't mean that we should not try to curb those instincts. It is instinctive, no doubt. But if some of our instincts are hurting us, okay, if that happens, then the procedure that you said is exactly right. Think about it and practice forgiveness and so forth. Very good. But one can even eliminate that instinct by proper practice. Like we eliminate many instincts, that for example, as a child, I had, like many children, of putting fingers in the mouth. Now, it is not a good thing to do because the fingers touch so many things, the dirt here, there, and all that gets into mouth. So, and then it upsets the stomach. So, although instinctive, then certain measures were taken to prevent that instinctive behavior to happen. First was very simple, that some of my grown-ups relations, my parents also included, would ask sarcastically, oh wait, don't put the fingers in the mouth just like that, let me first apply some sweet syrup to them, so that at least that will taste sweet, isn't it? Just to put the fellow to some shame, you see, that it is. But that if that doesn't work, okay, then hey, don't put. If you put, then there will be that a punitive action on that. You should not. So, although instinctive, we have the capability as human beings. Animals also can curb those instincts by this what is called this reward or punishment technique. Even dogs get trained like that, that if the dog does what the master has told, then the dog gets a treat. So that sends the signal that this is what I should do. Instinctively the dog would not get, but we here make a wrong assumption that the instinct can never be trained. Instincts can be subject to training, they can be changed through training. So, and I can tell you for sure that this does work about anger, that you can overcome it by practicing it. Again and again telling yourself that, see, you had been here before. Did it help you? No. So think twice before getting there.
But it should not be repressed, because then that is a problem.
It should be repressed, suppressed. That is, I have some problem with psychologists on that.
Really?
That, yeah, it is, one should, see, there should be, I understand that at one stage, it should not be suppressed or repressed. But, but at one stage, one can suppress it, try to suppress it. When it is becoming a volcano, then obviously you cannot try to suppress it. But you can take measures. Our Swami, this Shantarupanandaji had given a very nice lecture here.
Anger management.
Anger management, that overcoming anger before it overtakes you. So once it overtakes you, when the fire is, there is a conflagration, then now there is no point in putting the preventive measures. Call 911, get the fire truck, see what can be salvaged and so forth. But now you see what caused the fire, and then put in the measures by which the fire will get, avoided. It won't catch fire. So same thing with the anger, that when the anger comes, okay, and now let it burst out. But then take measures to curb that instinct so that it will flare up. So, although instinctive, the instincts can be trained, guided by the proper training. So therefore that training is important to take. It is, let them do whatever they like is not the way to train it, No. It is, one has to train the instincts just by saying that it is instinctive. Here it is said that it is instinctive just to show that nobody is responsible for that. So don't think somebody is causing the anger. It is instinctive, like sneezing. So it is, but there are ways to train that, and so those things, because of which then the anger will not come at all. Now somebody else has question. Prithvish also has question, but yes, let us go in order. Who had raised the hand first? Okay. Okay.
Swamiji, can we say that reaction. Anger is the last stage of the conflagration.
Yeah.
But can we say the reaction before anger is at the first stage? So if we can recognize the reactions, then we can reflect and act before it conflagration.
Exactly.
starts, right?
That is what is called a observing. The training happens like that. Yatishwaranandji gives that in his book, and you can see that anger, before it becomes anger, there is you can see, if you are observant, if you are getting that training, that there is some titillation that goes on in the psyche. It is just a little bit. At that time you can put it out. So it will not burst out as anger. But if you neglect it at that time, or are not even aware of it, because it requires training of the mind to even observe one's own mind. If it is so instinctive, then you cannot even observe it. It is, one should therefore spend some energy to introspect that what is happening in the mind, and what Prithvi says, then that one can really observe that yes, before you get angry, and there is some such thing happening. Those who have problem of blood pressure, the doctors tell them to practice that, because if the anger bursts out, then that is the BP will go very high and they will have to suffer. Afterwards, thinking about it will not help. They have to control that expression of anger, because otherwise it will increase the blood pressure. So it is thus observe. I know one gentleman, we were having some, like myself and Teresa were having difference of opinions, that he had some difference of opinion while we were negotiating something. And then I saw he, in the middle of the meeting, he got up and walked away. Then next day his son came to continue and do the necessary things. He said that the father called then that I left because I saw if I sit, I could become angry, and that will increase my BP. And so therefore I decided to leave. So he was observant, that there is the anger coming up, and so went away. So this is how one can do it, Prithvish. Yeah. Yes, here is Richard asking some question.
I was thinking that when you have someone that irritates you, you can act upon it. But once it goes to anger, you've really blown your creativity, really.
You can take the action without becoming angry.
Irritated is okay.
You can take the action. That is what Krishna told Arjuna. Yuddhyasva vigata jvaraha. That fight, but without getting angry with them. To fight, my duty is that to fight with them for justice. But do not get upset or angry with them. Yuddhyasva vigata jvaraha, a great teaching, Do whatever is needed to be done, but do not hurt yourself by getting angry. Yeah.
What I was thinking, however, is that we have these enormous mass societies that just barely keep people from acting instinctively, with great pressure downward on their behavior.
Yeah, that is, see, if the society exerts the pressure, and it is in most cases, I would say, it is good. We will not be social animals that we should be. If everybody is allowed to express their instincts without any restraint, then it will be a terrible state that people will be. There will be no society possible. So, if we want society, that means we have to train our instinct within the limits of that social interaction. Like they say that your personal freedom is there, that you can move your fist, but there is a limit that society puts on it. It should not touch my nose, it should stop where my nose begins. So that is how the society puts restrictions on our instinctive behavior. Yes.
In 1974, the FBI was convicted of infiltrating and disrupting a bunch of groups. And since 1974, I think they're still doing the same thing. And I don't think we're exempt from it. So how can I not get angry when I think it's going on?
It is going on. Why you are getting angry, will it stop?
No.
No, it will still hurt you more, that's all. If you know that by getting angry it is not going to stop, take care that you do not hurt yourself. Let FBI do whatever, but at least you do not take a knife and put it in your chest before FBI does it. Right. Okay then. Any question on the web? Okay. So let us conclude with the Buddhist mantras and the closing prayer. So please repeat. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Loudly, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami.
Buddham Sharanam Gacchami.
Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami.
Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami.
Sangham Sharanam Gacchami.
Sangham Sharanam Gacchami.
I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in his teachings, and I take refuge in his tradition. Peace, peace, peace. And let us conclude with the congregational closing prayer. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, our Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.
Are you going to mention the special talk?
What?
Oh yes,
What?
next Wednesday, there is going to be a special lecture by Swami Sumanasananda, the assistant minister at the Vedanta Society of Southern California, Hollywood. So he is visiting here just for a day and then has kindly agreed to give a lecture on Thou Art My Refuge on this topic. So you are all welcome to join. Mark your diary.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, same time,
Upstairs?
It will be done upstairs.
Oh, good.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
Wow. You know,